Well, at this point in time, you know, I'm not sure that it's, from what I've seen, it's my understanding the city controls the water and the parks control the land. It's my understanding that most of, from the plans that I've seen and reviewed, most of that it falls on the park's behalf, which I'm going to refrain from commenting on the park's behalf. But as a young person, generally, I think it's a good idea. I think young people are excited about the development. That's when I talk to friends and young professionals. They're excited about the opportunity of growth down there. They enjoy being down there. So in general, I think it's a good idea. Now, have I reviewed the plan in depth and agree with every bit of it? No, I'm going to reserve comment on that, but I do believe that in general that growth is an important growth for Decatur.
As far as the lakefront project, it is a collaboration with the Park District and the city. And I think as far as our part that we can do is make sure that we give them the support that they need. Yes, we are more responsible for the water portion, and I'm really excited about the fact that we're going to actually begin to see some changes come this summer. And that's enough to where we can get more people in the community excited as well. As someone who is responsible for trying to recruit other professionals to come to this community, one of the places we do take them to see is the lake. You know, we have lunch down there, and we get a lot of wonderful comments about the lake. And the other comment that we receive also is the fact that there's so much more that could be done. And it would make it a whole lot easier for me as far as recruiting people if I have somewhere to say, you know, one of the things that we always say is, you know, Chicago is 2 hours away, St. Louis are 3 hours away, and St. Louis is 2 hours away. So if you want something to do as far as recreation, you know, we're right in the middle of a lot of good things. And it would be wonderful to say, you know, we have this wonderful lakefront that has a lot of exciting things going on down there. You can take your family down there on the weekend. And it would be nice to be able to plug an asset that we have instead of sending someone else up to Chicago or St. Louis for a recreational activity. The other thing is, a lot of people say that Decatur has a gym. There isn't too many places in central Illinois that has a lake in the middle of the city. We have that, and we could truly capitalize on it. And as I stated earlier, really reinvent Decatur. We can become a place of recreational activity. We don't have to go to Wisconsin Dells. We got it right here in Decatur. And I think, and I truly believe that that can become reality for us.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Most of the people I've talked to are very excited about the lakefront project. I think it's a very positive development for our community. And I would just say we need to keep on keeping on.
Okay. The lakefront development project is a collaboration between the Park District and the city. That's true. The onus, the primary actor in this, though, is the Park District, not the city. Yes, it's true, the city council and every city council person would be well served to, and really everybody in the city who pays taxes here would be well served to cheerlead lakefront development. However, as an entity, the city council and the city of Decatur should not be responsible for very much of the financing, of the administration, or really of the ongoing operation of the lakefront. It's a parks project. We are in full support of it. Go team. I do have a slight concern, though, about some of the details. By and large, I will say I have reviewed the park plan. Phase 1 looks great, but the primary actor in this, the primary owner of this project, is the park system. Decatur, the city of Decatur, should be an enthusiastic cheerleader and that's it.
Mr. Foster?
Okay, well, much of what's been stated, I agree with, but Lake Decatur is one of our most precious assets, without question. And I look at the Nelson Park project as trying to get more and more focus on the lake. I think the project's an excellent project. The people that were commissioned to study this, I think, did an admirable job of getting community support, community input. In the first time in my memory, the park board and the city council meeting together side by side and setting together, I've never seen that happen before. And I like the intergovernmental cooperation and the move in that direction, regardless of what anybody thinks. The working together as a team, we're going to get a lot more done than if we're casting stones at each other or different intergovernmental agencies or boards. So that I like a lot. And I believe that the work will get done. We'll begin this summer. In my understanding, they're going to be putting in some first-class boat docks down where the beach house is and setting an example of what all of the other docks should look like. And I think as a councilman, I'm 100% behind the project, and we should work together, continue to meet together. This is a work in progress. It's going to take a long time, but we want to get it going and work together on it to make the city better. And I think that project's a good one.
I agree. I think that the lakefront project is very exciting for Decatur. I think that it offers a lot of opportunity. The comprehensive plan that the county and the city have adopted states that we should look at redevelopment rather than new greenfield outside of the border development. And I think that what better place to start than in Nelson Park? If we can get some residential down there, if we can get some shopping, more restaurants, and even some office space, I think that that would be a great place for some office campuses and things like that. But I agree with what everybody has said so far. This is primarily a park district project. They control the park land. We control the lake. I think that the city's responsibility needs to be in making Lake Decatur much more recreation friendly. That includes dredging, includes putting in more boat docks and getting the fees for boats and boat docks up to a level that does make it self-sustaining and maybe even help with the project from a financial standpoint. I also think that we may have to look at some sort of a revenue sharing or some sort of a financial arrangement with the park district, because you put in retail, you put in condos, you put in those things. The city does stand to gain from that, which we are looking forward to, but also the park district does not participate in any sales tax revenue. It does not. They have their own portion of the property taxes, but I am open to some sort of a financial arrangement to help bring this project to fruition and keep it moving. I think it's important that we get it started and start showing some movement on this as soon as possible, and that I'm very excited about it.
Thanks. Start with you. The new garbage and recycling plan will go into effect at the end of this week, but even with that, there are some people saying that there need to be some changes. Are there any changes you would see making at this time in that plan?
There has been a lot of controversy surrounding the garbage issue. I think one of the things that the council has done that was a very good move is the fact that we did give a 6-month time limit to come back and revisit it. And if there's any adjustments that need to be made, then it can be made at that time. We have to really give it a good try. We can't just start the project without seeing if it can actually work. And I know the city manager and the staff are, taking notes as far as what's working well and what's working bad. We have all been receiving a lot of emails about it, which has been addressed. And again, in 6 months, I think we really need to sit down, evaluate what emails have been sent, what letters have been sent, and see what we can do to make the issue better.
Excuse me. The garbage issue is about the worst thing that City Council has done in a long time. I have received more bad comments over the trash than anything. 10% of the population recycle. Now, they made an effort to combine all the recycling materials so that the property owner won't have to sort everything. But the fact still remains is we are still sorting between trash and recycling, and that entails 2 separate containers taking up area in our kitchen that should not be. This is a very poor solution. They have decreased the waste pickup and kept prices at the same as what they have been. We're getting less for the same amount of money and being forced to recycle, and I think it's a terrible plan.
Well, I think we're committed now, so about all we can do is move forward with the current plan and take another look in 6 months and see what we can tune. I'm particularly interested too in getting feedback from the haulers themselves. The recycler, I'd like to see what our tonnage is. If possible, it would be very interesting to get CO2 reductions, so we can see if this this change to once a week pickup has actually made a significant change in our routes and in our road wear and tear, which I'm sure the city manager and city staff is going to give us that information. Presently, we're committed. The wise thing, I think it's wise that the council did already decide to go back and revisit it in 6 months. It's a good move. Now, when that 6-month period elapses, we need to take a look at the data, see what we can do to make this plan better, and do it, make it better. I think it's an issue that's going to evolve, and I think it's an issue that we're just going to fine tune. So that's it.
Thanks.
Well, I support the recycling program. I believe it's the right thing to do for the city. Where would the next landfill be? And recycling reduces what goes in the landfill and the need to have another one anytime sooner than we need. So I think environmentally it's the right thing to do. And I think there may be some citizens that are going to take a little while, including my wife, to get used to this recycling thing, which I've made some commitments to help around our house to figure this out. But I think I was the one that brought up the 6-month idea to revisit. I think it's the right thing to do. We'll get feedback from the residents. We'll get feedback from the haulers. One of the things that I felt we should have done when we passed this and didn't is that the people that want to have backdoor service and are willing to pay for it, they should be able to do that. And what was the way it was left, I believe, was that each of the haulers would choose to decide how much they were going to charge for that backdoor service. I personally feel that the city should, as we set rates on the other things, we should set a rate for backdoor service that's uniform throughout the whole city, because you'd hate to have one person paying one rate and somebody else, you could have 3 or 4 different rates, and it just seems that it would be fairer for the community to have a set rate. So that said, I do support the recycling program, and I think it's gonna work just fine.
Thanks.
I think overall, the plan is a good plan. I think that garbage removal is a basic service that the city needs to regulate or provide. I'm not a proponent of the city getting into it, so we'll work with what we've got there. We did reduce the trash rates. We did not increase trash rates. I want to make that perfectly clear. We did increase the recycling rates, but I think if we're going to be a progressive city and something that young people look at this stuff. I mean, my kids live in, one of my son lives in Houston. He has to take his recycling to a central place. They don't have curbside recycling in Houston. And young people look at this same thing, and I think it's very important that we have this type of a program in Decatur. We've tried to make it as easy as possible with single sourcing. I think the 6-month review is good. And I would agree with Larry. I think that at some point we do need to regulate what it maybe set a maximum or whatever for backdoor service. But I think at this point I'm a huge proponent for once a week pickup. I think that at that point we have reduced the wear and tear of the street by 25%, because now instead of twice a week pickup, once a week recycling pickup, and once a week yard pickup, we're once a week on the garbage, we're once a week on the recycling, and we're once a week on the yard waste. So we've reduced it by 25%. So I think that's good for us in the long run.
Thank you. I will. I agree that in general this plan is very good. Reducing the wear and tear on the streets was something that I found encouraging, but that was on the periphery. But the encouraging recycling is very big in a young person's perspective. They very much want to see that, and I'm in support of encouraging recycling. Some comments that have been made, or I do understand that still sorting is somewhat problematic for some people. However, I think it's in the best interest of the city to move towards a recycling, encouraging recycling. I do think that the current council sort of missed an opportunity in taking hold of this backdoor service. I do understand their argument, or I think the argument that was put forth by somebody on the council, I don't know who, but about concern that haulers are concerned about workers' comp actions in the event that they have to go up and actually retrieve the garbage from the back door, especially with wintry conditions. But the council didn't necessarily leave any appeal process for those that are denied backdoor service at this time, which is something I think is kind of frustrating. If somebody's willing to pay for it, or somebody's denied that opportunity, I think there should be at least a process there for them to appeal it. So, but overall, I think the 6-month bring back was a smart plan in their regard, to give a quick checkup to see how it's coming along and if there's any issues and addressing them. But overall, young people are encouraged by the recycling.
Okay.